Welcome to the most dynamic show in mortgage, banking, and real estate sales. In this business, you need to get things done and dominate. You need energy. Get ready for your dose of Big Skip Energy. Felisha, welcome to the Big Skip Energy podcast. How you doing?
Good, thanks.
Good. Well, welcome. I'm so glad you could join me. For everyone that doesn't know you, just take a second and introduce yourself. Tell everybody who you are, what you're all about.
Yeah, so my name's Felisha Junge, and I work in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. I've been at LO for over 20 years. I've been at Green State for close to 18 of those. So I've been pretty loyal to Green State and what they've done. Close about, we try to hit over 100 million every year if we get there. Some years are better than others. So we've been pretty consistent about that. So help a lot of people buy and refinance. So,
all right. So, yeah, I mean, if you're clearing $100 million, and especially in this market, you're doing a great job. So you said that you've been with the credit union for about 18 years. We are in an industry where people jump around a lot. So what has really made it to where you wanted to stay there?
yeah. So we were really small when I first started, and I feel like we've grown, but they haven't taken like the person or like discounted us as a LO or an employee out of out of their company. They really are like human resources driven and people driven. So that's part of the reason I just have never left. I also think just being consistent helps your business rather than like jumping ship like every year or two if things get a little hard. It's easy just to, I get all the texts all the time asking, from recruiters saying, hey, let's jump over here or do this. And it's like I just feel like when you do that like a lot, it just people don't trust you as much.
Yeah, I think there's something to that because, like I said, we're in an industry where you see a lot of LOs. They stick around for a year or two, then they go someplace else, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I get that, but at the same time, I think there's something to be said, like you said, to being consistent and being able to kind of work through some of those ups and downs on your own. So no, I like that a lot. So tell me a little bit about the exact markets that you cover. Obviously, you've been in Iowa, but do you cover outside the state, or you just?
Yeah, we can. Yeah, we can. So we can lend anywhere in the United States. Most of my lending obviously is in Iowa, but I do help when people do relocation or they want to buy their second home. We do a lot of that. We did an acquisition a couple of years ago, which really helped kind of define us and like make us more aggressive in other states. So that's been really exciting and kind of fun just to be in other states. So like right now, I'm helping a couple buy their second home in Utah, and they're relocating there permanently from Iowa. So it's been really cool. I think it's like I love being in other markets and just learning about them because every market is so different. But I would say primarily, obviously, most of our market is in Iowa and local, like Cedar Rapids is mostly what we do in Iowa City. So,
So I mean, that's two decent sized metropolitan areas that you work out.
yeah.
50 states.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. Yep.
Nice. Okay. So tell me a little bit about this. I'm always curious when I talk to higher producers, the size of their team. And
Yeah.
so, I mean, is it just you and a processor? Do you?
Yeah, no, so it's me and my
How does that work?
assistant, Teresa, and it's just the two of us,
I
and
should have
then
gotten her in here, right?
yeah, exactly. She's the brains behind the operation. No, so it's just the two of us, and we just hammer at it. I'm more on the front line, so I'm doing like, talking to clients, all that fun stuff, and then she's handling more of like the just double checking everything, making sure all the paperwork is there and that kind of thing, so her files are really clean when they go over. So it's
Right.
just the two of us. The other thing that's a little different about us is we do try to close almost all our loans. So like we don't and I like here and locally, we don't hire a closer to come in and do the closings. We actually do like I do my own closings. So I'm going through the final paperwork and that type of stuff too. So
Is that, and you have to forgive me because I'm not super familiar with
yeah.
market. Is that something then that's still special to what y'all as the credit union do? Do all in Iowa? Like, how does that?
I feel like it's just kind of hit or miss. Every market's a little different on what they like. So like in Eastern Iowa, like closer to Illinois, it's very common to have, closer come in Here, I just feel I mean, we could do that if we wanted to and charge the client money to do that. I just feel it's like a final touch for it, and we've gotten them this far, so why not just end it? The other thing is, I just really want them to know that we're here long term for them. We're not just, handing them over to somebody else and then not gonna be there, like, hopefully in, a year or 2. Especially, what everybody's, like, kinda waiting for is this, like, refi boom to happen, right? And so we talk a lot about, okay, like, making sure that they call us back. How it how can we get more business out of those people?
Yeah.
Because they're actually our
It's
biggest
the close.
yeah, like, we want them to bring their family and friends to us, so asking for that at close is so important, and I feel like that's kind of the final touch, the
Yeah.
handshake and doing it the right way.
Is there a cost savings to the member for
Yeah, it's usually, like, about, 125 to $200, just depends on where it's at, but yeah, a couple of $100 usually, which we wanna minimize costs to everybody too, we don't
every little bit counts.
Yeah, exactly.
Going back to your sister Teresa for a second, how long
Yeah.
have y'all worked together?
It's been a long time, it's been about 8 years, yeah.
So yeah, it's like y'all got the whole mind reading thing going,
Yeah, I know, and
I
I always get grief from my boss about
operation.
taking notes, and putting the notes in the files, which I should probably be better at, but, she kinda can read my mind.
I should have gotten her in here, be like, okay, so what's she really do? What's she learn? No, so obviously to be part of a crate, you get a lot of internal referrals. Talk to me a little bit about
But
how
no,
you
that's
generate.
not really the case, though. I mean, it
Really?
is, but, like yeah, I mean, there is membership here, but you have to remember when we came to the market so I was in Iowa City, and then we moved up here. And so we actually like my team was one of the first team or me, I was one of the first persons hired in Cedar Rapids. So then we had to go out and get the business. I mean, not to say that the membership doesn't help, obvious, but that's part of the great thing about working at a place like this is we are trying to keep everybody here long term. It's not like just a burn and churn kind of thing. We want their membership, we want their checking. The more connections we have to somebody or to a client, the more likely they're gonna call us.
For
And
sure.
so
No,
it's like
I mean,
selling that long term is, like, really beneficial, you know?
yeah, I mean, I work with a lot of credit unions across the country, and I see a
Yeah.
lot of times that the dynamic is flipped over, where you see the credit unions, they serve their existing membership really well, but they don't use mortgage to its fullest to be able to grow the credit union
Oh,
membership.
yeah.
And so, I love what you're saying that you actually do the opposite. You use mortgage, everyone's biggest investment and cornerstone of their
Yeah.
finances, to actually build the membership. I love hearing
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, and I think that's what makes Green State different, though, is, like, we've always used it when we go into new markets. We want strong LOs, and we want to grow that community, and thankfully, like, our realtor partners, they're the ones that are gonna, help us grow, and then we're helping, that our bases grow. So it's been a win-win. We've gone into a bunch of different new markets. We're going into Nebraska and Omaha, and so we're gonna probably take that and just do what we've done over the last, how many years and just keep growing that way.
Good. Very nice.
So,
So, as far as your referral base goes, do you get most of your referrals from realtors?
yeah,
Is it a divert group like you get from financial planners and CPAs, all that kind of stuff too? Is it
I
primarily?
do get some from CPAs. I think it's nice to have like a good like mix, but I would say, I mean, 80 to 90% is going to be from realtors. I mean, thankfully they've been great, trying to keep that loyalty and keep working really hard for them, and so that's been one of my top resource or one of my top referral sources, you know?
So, above all else, this is a sales and business development show. So, I want to ask you, what is it that that you hear from your referral partners that they say, hey, this is why I work with Felicia.
Yeah.
She does X, Y, or Z better than anybody. That's why I want to work with her. What do you hear?
Well, I think one of the biggest things is we just get it done, and I hate to say this, it's kind of like a whatever it takes kind of mentality and really, like, digging in. So, I mean, we have clients that are really tough sometimes, and we're gonna try to figure out a way to get it done. So we're not calling like, if my realtors hear from me, usually they're kinda nervous because we don't call unless we really need something, and we're fixers. So That's the thing. So, like, if we have somebody who might have high debt to income, then we're gonna redo their debt load. And, that's another nice benefit to working at Green State is we have a really good, strong retail crew. And so they're gonna help us get from point A to point B. And that really helps when you have that teamwork and working together to not only make the client like it betters their financial situation overall. And that's really what we're working towards is like,
Sure.
hey, you might come in my office and you might say, hey, I want to put 20% down, but then you've got all this credit card debt. And we're not talking about like, how can we make you more financially stable while you're buying a house or whatever you're doing, And I think that's the piece that people forget. It's if you benefit your client correctly, they're always going to trust you and call you back, you know?
I think that's great. How long do you think, I mean, I'm not looking for obviously an exact number here, but
Yeah.
how long do you think it took your referral base to really trust you that much? Because I hear a lot of top producers, and frankly, I train this myself for, you got to keep your referral partners updated constantly. But what you're saying is, hey, look, they give it to me, they know I'm going to get this shit done. All right.
Yeah, exactly.
So how did you build that trust up? Because I mean, that's a big leap of faith for most realtors to do. So I imagine that took time. So talk to me about
It
that.
did. I think it just work it's like it's kind of like you start with one and then they talk about you and then it keeps growing, right? Yeah. So, I don't know. I mean, I think it takes time, but then the other thing that's really hard too is you have to continue to like still touch base because they like are, oh, squirrel. And then you're like, hey, no,
Oh
call back.
yeah, you definitely listen. They're
You know
they're
what I
salespeople
mean?
like anybody else.
I know it's tough, right? But the weird thing is they always call when it's a hard deal, right? Like
Yeah.
they're always gonna call me because if I can't do it, then nobody else can. I hate to say that. It's like kind of that mentality, right? And so then you're reminding them, "Hey, by the way, I got this thing for you. Just stop going to other people." Like
Yeah, like what are you doing? You're wasting your time. And,
I know exactly, exactly. And you're making yourself your life stressful, the client's life stressful, right? We want everything to be really smooth. And
it's
so
funny. It's like, because I'm sure you've heard this before, because this is the same across every state. It's like the realtor that says, "Well, I'm gonna give out 3 names." No, you don't. Don't give me that garbage. This is or
I
regulation.
know.
That
It's how yeah, that's the frustrating but you
that's
know what I mean?
the biggest roast off I've ever heard in my life. So it was. No, but that's fantastic. I love it. Talk to me a little bit about your product offering. Do y'all do everything in house? Do you have internal underwriting for conventional, or I mean, how
So
are y'all structured?
yeah, so we have in-house products and we have our secondary products and like obviously. Yeah, we do both. Yeah. Our in-house is nice though because it just gives us another like leg or like another mix. So if something doesn't fit into a box, like I'll give you an example. I had a client who was buying a home halfway constructed. Didn't know it until I got the appraisal back, of course. And so we had to figure out how to get this guy to close, and so we did kinda like an in-house construction loan, but a lot of places you just wouldn't be able to do that, you know?
Yeah, they wouldn't take it halfway done.
Yeah. So, it's nice because we have that, like, other leg to kinda stand on, and so that makes us really strong in the market.
For sure. I mean, because consumers like that,
Mhm.
referral partners like that saying, "Hey, look,"
Yeah.
and I ran a mortgage division for a bank. Don't know, don't judge, right?
Yeah.
That's the same thing. It's like, look, if I can't get you approved on a conventional or FHA, whatever it is that we're trying to do, right? It's like, I'll just hold it on my books because I know that you're credit worthy. And no, that's a big deal. It's a big deal. So what would you say is, do you typically close the most of? Do you do more conventional, more govy?
Most of it so the weird thing is the market's kinda changed over the last, like, couple of years, you know? So, I mean, when the market got tougher, we did a lot of Govy loan, a lot. Right now, I feel like it's pretty balanced. Mostly conventional, probably 20%, 30% Govy, and then some in-house, but we're not the weird thing is we were doing a lot more in-house financing probably, like, 3 or 4 years ago. I'm not seeing quite as much of that. People because the rates are they're kind of similar to just conventional, so we're seeing a lot more just conventional you know what I mean? Conventional.
That's most people's bread and butter.
Yeah, exactly.
So in Iowa, do y'all have any type of like bond program for DPA or anything special like that? Or would you put that up or use your portfolio instead to do something maybe frankly a little easier?
So as far as, like, down you mean down payment? Is this Yeah, so we use Iowa Finance Authority here. It's very similar. So we have a 5% product where they don't it's not gifted, it's just a back like it's so essentially you could do 5% on a no payment, no interest loan
Yeah.
as long as you qualify
Oh, so you
income-wise. Yeah, a soft second, and then we can do, FHA with it. And so it's nice, especially with people who have lower credit scores who we don't wanna maybe do portfolio on to have like a backup with.
okay. So let's shift gears a little bit to social media.
Yeah.
Yes. So, where I've seen you the most, right? You get out there, you post a lot.
Mm.
Tell me about your social media strategy. Like, where do you come up with your content? How often do you try and post? What makes you decide what topics to post? Like,
Yeah.
just I'll do it. Give it all to me.
This sounds really bad. I probably need to be a little bit more structured. Here's the thing, getting out there on social media can be I'm a pretty consistent person, and when you're a consistent person, I this sounds really bad, but I'm kind of boring. I feel like. Other people
You
might
know
not.
what? Everybody's big hang up on posting to social media is they think of themselves. Nobody wants to see anything that I'm
I
getting.
know, it's like it's hard, right? And so then I'm, like, trying to, okay, what do I put out there as content, you know? So some of it is just, like, watching other people and what they're doing, and just putting yourself out there, just having conversations, recording yourself, when you're doing something cool, it's just like there's so much to talk about, but just finding it where it's interesting is, and I do struggle with that, and then you see people who actually spend a ton of money to get videographers, and I don't really do that. I just don't have a fun point in it.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I think the most successful ones, honestly, they don't spend the money doing it. They just
Right.
put a lot of thought into it.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's quality, quality content. So as far as social media goes, what would you say, what percentage of your business have you gotten from posting? I mean, has somebody said, "Hey, I saw you post on Instagram," or, as far as your DMs, like you say, "Hey, refi
They don't
question."
really get a ton, though. The weird thing is just that consistency with the realtors, I think, is important and
Yes. See,
not well, yeah, just being seen. The hard part is and right, the hard we used to do a lot of, like, marketing drop-offs. We still kinda do some of that just to make it fun, like, we just did, like, Easter for Easter, we made these, like, cute little bags and asked for referrals just to kinda get out there in the community, but the hard part is people just aren't in their offices anymore, so I feel
right.
like it's just another way to grab at people if they're working from home, especially realtor referrals, is just to be like, "Hey, here's what's going on in my world," or, "Here's something you should think about." It's not always perfect. The
Mhm.
ones I get the most traction on are the more personal ones, like, I just did one where I spoke in German, talking about how we, like, have people come in who might not speak English.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, and that one actually got, like, a lot of traction, so I was like, "Oh, that's cool," I spoke in German for 10 or 15 seconds.
Well, now I have to ask a follow-up question. Is that because you are German? Is your
Yeah, 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 so yeah, and I didn't actually speak English as my first language, so that's yeah,
That's
so
funny.
yeah, so it's just, like, something different that people may not know, just to throw out there, and we help a lot of different ethnicities, but and so
Mhm.
I think just, putting yourself out there when it doesn't always, like, feel good or I don't know.
I had
So,
no idea. So you're German.
yeah.
All right. So okay. That opens up a whole new conversation. Okay. So what part of Germany are you from?
I'm from Stuttgart area. It's
Mhm.
like the Bavaria area, but I only lived there till I was, like, 8, and then I
Yeah.
came
Did you come over here? All
here.
right. What brought your parents over here?
My dad was in the military, and my mom is from Germany, and then my grandparents lived here, so we eventually wanted to come over, and it was, like, right when the wall was coming down and all
Mhm.
that fun stuff, so the East and West were joining
Okay.
together, but it's just, like, people don't think about, like, where you come from sometimes, and, and I know it's hard, especially we just have people come in here from we have a huge French speaking from the Congo that live in Cedar Rapids that live here. So it's
Mhm.
really cool because we have so many different people here that we can
Oh, that's
meet.
who would have thought that, right?
Yeah, yeah, it's fun. Yeah, it makes life a lot more interesting, right?
I know. That's very cool. Now, of course, I'm gonna have to go search for the post and
Yeah. Yeah. You're German, maybe next time.
yeah, man, yeah. we're not going to worry. Yeah, it's going to be a long time before we go. But all right, so we're a little bit low on time. This would normally where I would ask you to share something that people wouldn't expect. I think we've kind of already hit that, but I want you to try anyway. Share something with the listeners that they would or that you think would surprise them about you. I'm putting you on the spot here. This is
Like, actually, like, this sounds really bad, but, like, I'm a very, like, non-materialistic person, so, like, I'm like, less is always more for me, and
Yeah.
so, like, even, like, going out and just camping in, like, a tent, which people
Yeah.
are like, "Oh, you like this?" I'm
You're
like,
minimalist.
I could probably, like, live off of, like, out of a backpack and sleep on, like, I've always wanted to do, like, one of those wilderness challenges where you go out for, like, 2 weeks. I don't know if you've seen those where you,
What?
like
What? Are we going to see you one day get in a phrase?
what's that also be called, okay? But, yeah, like,
That's great.
it's just, like, really, like, interesting to me. Just that, like,
Love it. No,
being
that's unusual
there.
for folks in sales, especially higher producers. They like the comforts, you know?
I know.
No, that's very cool. Very cool. So, Felicia, if anybody wants to learn more about you, get in touch with you in case they want to buy or refi. Where should they go? What should they do?
Yeah, so my cell phone number is 319-621-9350, or you could email me as well at like Felicia Junge, Junge @greenstate.org. And then I can get you all taken care of.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for spending a few
Yeah.
minutes. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, Skip. Have a good day, okay?